damage to their houses and loved ones lost things. And, we're looking at, there's tsunamis on other sides of the world, there's earthquakes, there's all this stuff that's happening. And it says, when the oceans rise and the thunders roar. Sometimes in our lives there's the big, huge natural stuff, and sometimes in our lives there is stuff that is just so overwhelming. You guys are getting ready to head into summer, and I know a lot of you are really looking forward to it, but there may be some of you who are completely and totally dreading it, and you wouldn't admit it to anyone, but you might admit it to God. What he's saying here is when the oceans rise, when you feel like you are drowning, and you can't even take your next breath, and when the thunders roar, when you can't even hear yourself think. So now you're drowning, you can't hear yourself think, what do? You restore. Okay, and I know that seems totally foreign. How can I be at a place of peace and rest? But think about the eagles and the seagulls and all those different birds. What do? They just coast. Okay, they take the wind in their wings and they rise above whatever is going on around them. All hell can be breaking loose underneath them, but where they are, it is peaceful and it's restful, and they're looking down from a higher perspective. So what I want to challenge you with this summer and tonight as Ms. Angie talks and as the different people teach, whatever you're going through, whatever your storm is, whatever your ocean is, whatever your flood is, ask God, because He cares. He really does. I know you guys hear this every week, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future, to prosper you and not to harm you. But make it about you. Lisa, I have a plan for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Scott, plans for a hope and a future. Make it about you, because it is about you. He died for you. He wants to be that whisper that you hear when the thunders are roaring. He wants to be that person who walks out to you on the sea and lifts you up so that you're not drowning. So I know this was for someone because God laid it on me very, very heavy. But just look at those words. He is king over the flood. It is His job to say when enough is enough, but He is there with you in the midst of it. So just be still and know that the God that you serve is a good God. He is a loving God. And He is not going to let you be crushed, because He says a bruised reed He will not crush. And basically what that means is a reed is blowing in the wind, and it might rub against something else, and it might be bruised, and it might be weak, but He's not going to crush it and discard it. He's going to give it time to rest and to regrow so that it can enjoy doing what it was meant to do. And that's what He wants to do with you. He wants to restore you to a place, give you life so that you can live as He intended for you to live.
Joshua. I'm working here this summer as the intern at Riverside. Usually I am in Indiana going to college. I'm studying music, and one of the things that I'm doing here this summer is helping the band. And the thing is, I've had a great time so far, and we've had some, I think, pretty decent music, but I am going back to college. And so one of my main goals is to build a worship band here at Oneighty. In order to have a band, there must be members. And those are people who have a musical gift and who want to glorify God with it. It's not, hey, let's get on stage and, be in front of people. It's not, hey, let's get together and, mess around and play a bunch of Blink-182 covers. I've been guilty of that before. It's going to be about worship. It's going to be about making great music at Oneighty for God. So I have this worship team interest sheet, and I'm going to be at the back of the room tonight. And if you're like Breland and you play the drums, or if you're like any number of you who are remarkable singers, hit me up. I'll get your name, phone number, and we're going to build this, and it's going to be awesome. So, talk to me after. Thanks.
What is the role of a father? Okay? And I want you guys to give me some ideas, and I don't want to hear what you think I want to hear. I want to know, maybe some of you guys have experienced some great fathers, no fathers, fathers that aren't so good. So each one of us have our own idea about what a father is. So I want to hear some ideas.
Teach and protect.
Teach and protect. Father is a teacher.
Or teach and provide, rather. I'm sorry.
Teacher and provide.
Role model.
Compassion.
What?
Compassion.
Compassion. Love. Safety.
Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, a leader. Okay. Now, You know, I'm going to be honest with you, men. As men, and I don't mean to, and these are great answers, but as men, we're failing. We're failing as men because more and more women are raising children by themselves. More and more men are more concerned about their Monday night football than they are going home and spending time with their kids. Not everybody has had the opportunity to have great fathers. What are some of the characters on TV that we see as fathers? How about Ted Bundy? Remember him? He's a little older show, but he'd always just come home and sit on the couch and put down his wife and the greatest kids.
Married with Children.
Huh?
What show did you say?
It was
Married with Children.
Married with Children. Okay?
Love.
Hey, that one show I wrote in. The guy.
My wife and kids, yeah.
Bad example.
What is
Family
it,
Guy.
Jim? What's the one?
Court to Jim.
Court of Jim? World Court of Jim?
American Dad.
American Dad?
Family Guy.
Ah, that's the funniest show ever.
That 70s
Family
show?
Guy.
Okay. Remember, you guys remember the 70s show?
Hi, I'm Steve.
Okay. Here's the problem. Is that sometimes in our own personal life, we don't have a good representation of a father. I hate to say that. Not all of us are blessed with some of the fathers that we described here today. So we have a warped sense of what a father is and what he should be. Okay? Now, everything that we have experienced, that we read in the Bible, in Jesus' walk, okay, is a representation of the way that we should be. Okay? That's why I've kind of stressed you guys read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John if you want to get to know who Jesus is and what he did. And that changes our character. Well, God has many different names. He's called the Creator. He's called Truth. He's called Alpha, Omega, the beginning and the end. Okay? And I want to discuss his role as a father. Okay? And what he means. I want everybody to close their eyes. Everybody close your eyes. And I want you to describe to me, and I'll point you out. Just close your eyes. And I want you to imagine what God looks like. And if you want to describe to me what your God looks like, just raise your hand. Nobody? What does your God look like?
He doesn't even have a face, you just hear his voice.
No
Like
fa-
he's invisible.
He's invisible.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't hear his voice. Anybody else want to describe what their God looks like?
Perfect man.
The what?
Perfect man.
Perfect man. You want me to tell you what my God looks like? Big, huge, white bearded guy.
In the cloud.
In the clouds. And he sat up on this big, huge throne. I mean, it was huger than life itself. And in order to get to him, I had to climb these stairs. And he sat down on this throne and he looked on me as if I was an ant. And he looked down upon me as if he was going to cast judgment. And he had all authority and power over the universe and the world. And he was so far away, he was unreachable. Huge, bigger than life. Now God is bigger than life. And he does have power all over the universe. But we portray this being that is untouchable, unreachable. He's at a distance and I can't get to him. Okay? Sometimes we picture him as Jim Carrey and what was that movie?
Heaven Almighty.
Heaven Almighty. You know, so we picture him in different ways. So I kind of want to clarify what God and who he is. Okay? If you had a friend, anybody here ever had a friend that tried to set him up with somebody?
Oh man! One of my friends tried to set me up with a girl that hated me.
Okay. Did the person know him?
Yeah.
Okay, so they knew one another. Anybody set somebody up with somebody that they didn't know? In other words,
Blind date.
okay, you did? You set somebody up with
Well,
somebody?
no, a friend tried to set me up with somebody that they had met online.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you got set up with me.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing is if you said, okay, what does this person look like? They would describe, oh, they're 5'8", they're 6 foot, they're muscular, they're this, that. Well, what are they like? In other words, what is their character? Okay, well, they're nice. They get angry a lot, or they don't get angry. Very generous, very gracious. Okay, these are characters when you describe somebody. All right, so you can kind of get not only a visual, but you get an idea of what type of person are they. Okay, so that's one of the things that we're going to discuss. Now, I want to talk about God and what His thought of a father should be, and that is number one. And would you? The verse is Ephesians 6:4. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have the next paper. If you want to write some of this stuff down, so you can look at it when you get home. But please read Ephesians 6:4.
All right. And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord.
Okay, what he's saying here is the short verse is he's saying, hey dads, don't bring your children up to wrath. In other words, don't make them so angry that they just want to just slug them. I mean, let's be honest here. Has any father ever made them so mad that you just, oh man, I'm taking you out back, and I'm going to show you who's the man. Okay,
I couldn't do that.
Hey, I gotten so mad at my dad, and my dad, I tell you what, I was blessed to have the dad I did, but I didn't always agree with what he said. Okay, all right. So, but God's telling you as a father, don't make them so angry, pushing their buttons, pushing their buttons, pushing their buttons. So then that way they want to retaliate out of anger. Okay? So if he's telling me not to do that, what does that tell you about God? That he's not going to do it. God's going to guide you in ways, and you have the opportunity to listen to him and follow him. All right? And make your job a lot easier. But he's not going to push you to the point, that you want to retaliate. And this is not written down, but would you do me a favor and read the, what did I say? Read 1 through 3.
Chapter 6?
Same chapter.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is what is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with you and you may live long on the earth.
Okay. Now, I wanted to bring that up because God wants the best for you. And sometimes you might say, God, I want to go right. And he's saying, no, go left. Go left. All right? No, I want to go right. God's telling you, go left. All right? And you don't listen to him. You could be putting yourself in harm's way. You can make your life a lot more difficult. You can have a lot more trouble areas in your life because you did what you want. And what he's trying to tell you right here is that if you listen to your father, if you listen to me, God's saying, I'll make your life a lot easier. It might not be what you want right now, but you'll see in the long run, it will benefit you greatly. It will put you out of harm's way. Your life will be full. A lot of people think that life full and more abundantly means long, long life. But what it means is that your days will be blessed. They'll be full. You won't have the stress and the worry. And I did something when I was younger, and some of you guys know this, and I had a child out of wedlock. From that moment on, and I love my son. I love him more than my own life. I had responsibilities at such a young age. It was tough. And I only got through it because of God. Get me through it. But if I had listened to God and waited until I got married, I wouldn't have had all the stress. I would have got to grow up with my son, and my son would have got to grow up with me. We would have had a greater relationship. And we have a good relationship now. But there's that, he grew up 1,000 miles away from me. Okay? So God's telling you that, listen to me, and I'll make your life fuller. Okay. I want to talk about the characteristics of God. Moses, long story, I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. Moses was the gentleman who went to Egypt and led all the Israelites, 10 million Israelites, out of Egypt. How he fed them was only because of God. How he kept it all organized was only because of God. Well, Moses did what God wanted to, and he had a desire to see God. God, I want to get to know you.